Hello guys, it's Tom here, and once again I'm dedicating this video to the memory of Diogo Jota, and I'm making all of my videos in honor of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, who sadly tragically passed away. They will be forever remembered, and I'm so delighted and happy to see that the Liverpool fans came together. The Liverpool family once again came together and donated to get 2 murals in honor of Diogo Jota painted at Liverpool. One of them is already up and the other one is being painted as we speak. So the Liverpool family, the Liverpool community once again shows that in a time of so much tragedy, the family sticks together, comes together, and I want to spread positivity, and I want to help you guys get more informed and entertained with my videos. So I hope that you guys appreciate that. So Liverpool are in the market for a centre-back after Liverpool sold Jero Kwanzaa to Bayer Leverkusen, and Liverpool are in talks still to sign Marc Guehi, the Crystal Palace defender, and recently the news came out that something could accelerate this transfer, because at the moment it looks like Crystal Palace might not play Europa League football next season. They might only play in the Conference League, and because of UEFA's multi-club ownership rules, Crystal Palace are at risk of not competing because their co-owner John Textor also co-owns the French club Lyon, and both clubs, because they are co-owned by the same person, both clubs are not allowed to compete in the same competition. And recently Lyon, it looks like, will not be relegated to League 2, and they will stay in the French First Division. In League 1, the decision has been confirmed. That's what Fabrizio Romano and others have confirmed. So Lyon won their appeal against their relegation. So now Crystal Palace are at risk of being kicked out of the Europa League, because Lyon had agreed to still compete in the Europa League because they finished in 6th place and they achieved the Europa League finish through their league season. And now Crystal Palace are waiting for UEFA's final decision on the matter, and it's a tricky situation because Crystal Palace are waiting for this decision to be finalized so they can move forward with their transfer plans, because until you are confirmed to play in the Europa League or the Conference League, you can't really move forward with your transfer strategy, because Crystal Palace don't really know which competition they will be entering, and they don't know how much prize money they will receive. Crystal Palace fear that Nottingham Forest will take their Europa League spot, because at the moment Nottingham Forest are qualified to play in the Conference League, but because if Crystal Palace are kicked out of the Europa League, then Nottingham Forest will move up to the Europa League and Crystal Palace will go down to the Conference League. So it's a tricky situation, and I don't envy the Crystal Palace fans, but at least they can have solace in that they will play European competition next season regardless, and that's the first time in their history. So they did a magnificent season, finishing in winning the FA Cup and finishing in mid-table, and winning the FA Cup against Man City was a huge achievement for Crystal Palace. And also it's a good question, like how can Crystal Palace convince their players to stay when they don't even know whether they will play in the Europa League or in the Conference League? And also when it comes to buying players, how can Crystal Palace convince players to move to Crystal Palace when they don't even know what kind of competitions they will be playing next season? And also it's a tricky situation because if Crystal Palace are demoted to the Conference League, they will appeal that decision. So this uncertainty gives Liverpool advantage and leverage in the talks to sign Marc Guehi, who also has 1 year left on his contract. So Liverpool can essentially sign him for a cut price fee. Crystal Palace still want 50-60 million, and Liverpool want to pay only 40-45 million for Marc Guehi, who is a very experienced England international, and he would be a fantastic addition for Liverpool. And football finance expert Dan Plumley has said this about Liverpool's summer transfer business. Of course, if you get your business done early and you don't need to be scrambling around and being reactive when the season starts, that's always a better transfer strategy, and that's what Liverpool have done so far. Again, we spoke about Liverpool last season, last summer. They didn't spend that much, hardly anything in the grand scheme of things. And in the winning the Premier League, off the back of spending very little. And then looking at how they are going to grow into the future under the new manager Arne Slot and the business that Liverpool have done already, it looks very, very good for Liverpool. If this signing, Guehi, were to happen, then pretty quickly you are probably seeing them say, right, we are happy with where we are now going into the new season, and you can really hit the ground running. But I don't think Marc Guehi would be the final signing, because Liverpool are still looking to add an attacker, potentially even a winger if Luis Diaz is sold, of course. So this is all be really, really a tricky situation. But also another thing that gives Liverpool advantage in their pursuit for Marc Guehi is that it looks like that Newcastle haven't gone back in to sign Marc Guehi. They wanted to sign him last summer, they wanted to sign him in January, but Newcastle balked at the asking price that was like 70 million that Crystal Palace asked for at that time. So Liverpool remain the clear favourites to sign Marc Guehi. They are looking to build on their £200 million transfer spend so far, and Liverpool are keen to bring in a centre-back who is younger than Van Dijk and Konate. Konate also entered the last 12 months of his contract, and there are rumours going about that Konate wants to run down his contract and join Real Madrid on a free transfer. This is all just mind games from the Madrid-based media, but it worked with Trent Alexander-Arnold, sadly, and Liverpool probably might have to give Konate a deadline. If you don't extend your contract until August or the middle of August, then you are getting sold, because Liverpool don't want to enter the same scenario with Konate, what they endured with Trent Alexander-Arnold, that he ran down his contract and Liverpool lost a very valuable player for just £10 million, and Konate would go on a free transfer if he runs down his contract. So let me know, what do you think about this Marc Guehi transfer interest? I think he would be a fantastic signing for Liverpool, and I really can see Liverpool making this deal happen. We just maybe will wait until after the pre-season friendly against Preston North End, so we can pay our respects to Diogo Jota, and Preston and Liverpool both plan to do tributes for Diogo Jota. The players will wear black armbands and there will be a 1 minute silence. And also in the match program, Preston wrote a special column remembering Diogo Jota, and there will be on the digital ad boards, online messages for Diogo Jota and in remembrance of Diogo Jota, in honor of Diogo Jota, and that really warms my heart, and I think both clubs will do it in the right way, in the most respectful way. And now on another topic, let's talk about Luis Diaz, because after Bayern Munich got the news that Jamal Musiala will miss 5 to 6 months with an injury, getting injured in the Club World Cup game, it looks like Bayern Munich are desperate, because they have failed to get a number of their other attacking key targets this summer. Florian Wirtz, of course, went to Liverpool, so their egos are hurt, Bayern Munich's egos, and they need Luis Diaz, and they really, really think that they need him. So I think Liverpool can squeeze Bayern Munich for a little bit more. If Morgan Gibbs-White, it's worth 60 million. Tottenham just paid his release clause. Nottingham Forest are getting absolutely torn apart. Elanga already went to Newcastle for 55 million. Madueke costs 52 million. That's also crazy high transfer, and Arsenal fans absolutely lost their minds about buying Noni Madueke from Chelsea. So it's quite interesting to see. So Luis Diaz might be a little bit older than his players, but he has also a more proven record. He's a better player than Elanga, a much better player than Madueke, a better player than Morgan Gibbs-White. So Bayern already paid over £100 million to buy Harry Kane. So Liverpool can ask for 60, 70, maybe even 75 million for Bayern Munich. Bayern missed out on other key targets. Leroy Sané went to Galatasaray. Musiala has a long-term injury, and there are question marks about the future of Kingsley Coman. So Bayern are desperate, and Liverpool can squeeze a little bit more money out of Bayern Munich, I think, because this is not a charity. Bayern really should pay the going rate for Luis Diaz if they want to have him. And also there is a good argument that Luis Diaz, if he leaves, then probably Florian Wirtz will get his shirt number, the number 7. There is a lot of question marks. What kind of shirt numbers will the new players wear in the preseason game against Preston? But I don't think anything is confirmed. I think it will be temporary shirt numbers because Liverpool haven't confirmed the shirt numbers. We still are waiting to get maybe more transfers done. So I think we should only confirm their shirt numbers before the Community Shield game. And the latest bid is 52 million euros. That was submitted by Bayern Munich for Luis Diaz. But if they should make it 62 million euros, plus with add-ons it should be adding up to 70 million euros, which could be around 60 million pounds or 58 million pounds. The wording by the Bild newspaper was a dead giveaway as well. They said Bayern Munich have made their first offer, which means that this is the lowest offer that they will make and they will go higher. This is how negotiations start usually. You start low and then you go higher and higher until both clubs can agree on a compromise transfer fee. Every club does this. What's important is that it's an official offer and that has been made. So Bayern Munich has officially registered their interest in Luis Diaz, and also you should make the second offer respectable or don't even bother sending it. I mean if Noni Madueke is worth 50 million, then Luis Diaz is surely worth 70 million. A lot of Chelsea fans are very happy about selling Noni Madueke for that amount of money, which of course helps Chelsea in the PSR conversation as well. And also I don't understand how can Chelsea and Arsenal act like they are big rivals and yet they are trading players every summer. I mean, look up Man United and Liverpool transfers. A transfer between those clubs hasn't happened for like 60, 65, 70 years. Same with Liverpool and Everton. A transfer between those clubs haven't happened for decades. That's a real rivalry. You don't do business with your rivals. I don't understand why Chelsea and Arsenal are not real rivals, because they are trading players every summer. And I mean, how many Arsenal players have used to play for Chelsea? I just don't understand. Other sources, other Liverpool sources are saying that Bayern Munich haven't tabled an official bid, so maybe it's just a verbal offer. But I think if the Bild newspaper reports that it has happened, then something must have been tabled, at least verbally. Also, in another news from Italy is that Napoli sporting director Manna has spoke to Darwin Nunez, his agent Faili Ramadani, today again. Apparently there was a meeting planned today in Milan to discuss the next step in the transfer, because Darwin Nunez really wants this transfer to happen, and of course Napoli want it to happen as well. And once Napoli get the transfer fee for Victor Osimhen, once that transfer goes through, that's when we can expect big offers to come in for Darwin Nunez from Napoli. And I'm a little bit sad if Luis Diaz is sold, because I think he's a fantastic player and he was one of the main reasons why Liverpool won the Premier League title. But Liverpool are making a business decision here, because Luis Diaz is 28 years old. Liverpool don't want to give him a new improved contract because he will be 29 years old next season, and his resale value rapidly goes down once he hits 30. And if you give a new contract to Diaz, he will stay for another 3 or 4 years. But right now you can actually sell Luis Diaz for his peak value, which could be 60, 70 million pounds. And I think that is a smart business decision from Liverpool's point of view, because if you keep Luis Diaz, you might be stuck with him for another 2, 3, 4 years. And yes, he's a great player. He scores 25, 30 goal contributions each season. Not just goals, but goals and assists combined. But if you get 70 million or 65 or 60 million for him, you can get a younger winger with maybe even better potential, because this is probably as good as Luis Diaz will ever be, what we have seen this season that just finished. So it makes business sense to sell him at this rate, because he and Darwin Nunez are the only two players that Liverpool could sell for a really, really high transfer fee, and we could reinvest that and sign a striker and maybe another young winger, a project player. But Ben Jacobs has said that Liverpool have refused to engage with Bayern Munich over Luis Diaz. Liverpool have been unequivocal in their not for sale stance, and they have rebuffed all advances to date. No formal bid received, zero engagement or encouragement from Liverpool other than outlining their position. Liverpool have no plans to allow Bayern Munich to present or discuss any bid. So that's very interesting, because the Bild newspaper has reported that Liverpool have received a bid from Bayern Munich worth 52 million euros. So I'm not sure what to or who to believe. David Ornstein also is reporting that Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson is set to join Brentford on a 2-year deal, and he's 35 years old. He had an option to extend at Ajax for another year, but he prioritized a return to the Premier League. And many people thought Jordan Henderson will go back to his boyhood club Sunderland, but probably Brentford won the race because they can pay much higher wages, and also Brentford are a much more stable club. Henderson doesn't want to fight relegation, he wants to at least finish mid-table and maybe even push higher. So medical and the paperwork will happen over the weekend, but the announcement will only happen next week out of respect to Diogo Jota and his family, which is a really classy touch by Jordan Henderson, who still has a lot of ties to Liverpool fans, so that's why he's doing this out of respect to Diogo Jota and his family. So it will be very interesting to see Henderson back in the Premier League. I'm actually happy with that, because I haven't seen much of him playing for Ajax, but he had a good time at Ajax, and now coming back to the Premier League, it will be emotional when Henderson comes back to Anfield to play against Liverpool. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys found enjoyment in this video. I will keep dedicating these videos to the memory of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. They will forever be remembered. You will never walk alone. Number 20 forever. And I wish you all the best in your personal lives, guys. Take care and goodbye.